we're going to carry on with our presentations because I've seen that our next keynote speaker is with us. So shall we do that or shall we go for a short break with the commercials? That's Maja, you're here with us. Security Services Digital Era. Maja Krejči is with us already. She's so nice to be a little bit earlier with us today. Maja is, so long in business that she could actually offer some guarding, monitoring, patrolling on some new platforms with no problems. Hello, Maja. Nice to have you with us.
Hi, hello.
So, where are you seated right now? In which country of the world?
I'm seated in Croatia. I'm seated in Zagreb.
Okay, so what's the weather in Zagreb? I'm flying there about 4 p.m. when this ends.
It's not so good. It's cloudy, it's rainy. Don't hurry. You don't need to hurry.
Okay, no need to hurry. So good. So Maja, we know that you're a professional for a long period. You work for many companies, but today you're going to present something which you prefer to share with us in this 25 to 30 minutes. You just put your share screen.
Share my screen. Do you see it? You see it, of course.
Okay, we see it. Security Service Digital Era. You can do the presentation mode. We see it all. We clear you. And Maja, carry on, carry on.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, there have been certainly a lot of discussion about technology, a lot of valuable discussion of technology about security products on this presentation, on this conference. But I'm going to talk about security services as announced. So the scope of my presentation will be private security services with a focus specifically on the residential market. In the focus of this industry, private security services industry, are people. So this is a people-focused industry behind man guarding, alarm monitoring, cash in transit system integration, security consulting or private investigations. There are trained security professional guards performing their job. So this is quite a big industry. It is estimated in a size of $132 billion in 2020. But what is more important is that it is a growing industry. It is expected to grow with a compound annual growth rate of 3.9% from 2020 to 2025. When we look at this industry as a whole on a global scale, we can say that it is quite a fragmented industry, that it has basically a lot of players in every country offering this kind of services. But they all share the same or the similar market specifics. Main revenue still comes from the man guarding, but the biggest profit and the biggest growth rate comes from technology and services, for example, like video monitoring or video as a service or security system as a service. If we look from the user side or from the customer side, we can say that the main revenue comes from industry customers, financial institutions, and retail. And you can see here, basically, that I have not mentioned residential market at all. And there is a reason for that. The revenue coming from the residential market is quite small in a global private security services industry. But yet, it will still be the topic of this and the focus of this presentation. And here is basically the reason why. The global residential security services market is a growing market. It's with a much larger pace or quicker pace than the private security services market. Well, the growth estimates between 2020 and 2025 for the private security services market is around 4%. It's 8% for home security system market and 11.6% for smart home market. And if you look at the size of the smart home market, basically in 2025, we cannot anymore say that it's a small market. It's almost the size of the private security services market. And what does this number mean? Well, this number definitely shows the tremendous growth potential for the private security services in the residential segment, because these numbers only show the sales of the systems, of the products, not services itself on the residential market. So it's really a big potential to grow. Especially when we look at the smart home system market and we see that the home security is one of the key reasons people buy a smart home at home. So this product, this segment, smart home security, will grow in the next year definitely. And there are many reasons for that. First is the user awareness. We need security at home. We want security at home. But also is the technology that is more and more user-friendly, wireless technology, and easiness of use. Because honestly, home security has never been easier. When we see the products presented here, for example, Canary on the above left side, or Simply Safe on the right side, or below Arlo products, they really look nice. They're really simple to use, and they are really, really, really easy to install by yourself. So home security is quite simple to achieve, and it's quite easy to buy, purchase, and install. So the same statistics follow also are expected on a European smart home market. It is also expected to grow with a compound annual growth rate of 11.3%. But the home security part of the smartphone or the smart home market is expected to grow even faster, with a compound annual growth rate around 16%. What is most interesting is that it is in 2025, 5 years from now, 4 years from now, honestly, 12% of every product purchased for smart home in Europe will be security smart home, so security product. So it's definitely a bright future for a smart home manufacturer, for products, for manufacturers and distributors in Europe. But what about the service providers? Well, it seems that there is a bright future for them as well, because customers definitely recognize the value and expressed interest in security services. 60% of US households, US broadband households, report feeling safe enough only with professionally monitored home security systems. In Europe's largest 5 markets, this is UK, Germany, France, Spain, and Italy, 60% of consumers worry about their homes when they are not there. And basically, they do not just worry about their home. It's more and more about the kids' safety. It's more and more about the elderly who are living not so much in the same home, but in another home. It's also about the primary residence that we live in, but also about the secondary, so the holiday residence that we want to monitor. So it seems that the majority of customers, potential customers for security services in the United States and in Europe, also recognize the truth in this saying, which every security professional also understands, that without monitoring, a home alarm is just a glorified noisemaker. But unfortunately, existing security services are not capturing this market. We have seen the numbers. We have seen the numbers that of the customers that express the interest in these services. 60% on a US market report feeling safe enough only with a professionally monitored security system. But only 23% of this market use this kind of services. In EU, the gap is even bigger, because only 60% on average households use professional security services. In our Eastern Europe, numbers are even smaller, around 4% on average. In Northern Europe, it's much higher, around 15%. But yet there is a very big gap between 23, 15, or even 6 to the 60% that show interest. So what is the reason behind that? Why so small numbers? There are several reasons, definitely. First one is, for example, the flexibility in the pricing models. And we often mistake flexibility with the cheaper prices. It's not about the cheaper prices. It's about the flexibility, because today you can only contract a security service for your home for a long term and with a monthly fee. There is no other way. There is no other option. So it's not about whether it's expensive or cheap enough. It's about whether it's flexible. The other one, for example, is long purchase decision-making process. And what does that mean, basically? When you're away from your home and when you worry about it, you cannot purchase any security service at that moment. You have to be well prepared in advance. You have to have your security system at your home installed. You have to contact the security service provider, ask for an offer. accept an offer, get a contract, sign this contract in paper, wait for a technician to come to your home and connect your security system to this monitoring center of the security system provider. So this is a long process, and there is a lot of time to change your mind and to decide that you don't want to buy this security service because you don't worry anymore. But what is also most important, and what is also one of the most important reasons for that, is that people want to buy smart homes, some smart home products, security smart home products. We have seen this in the numbers. There will be more and more this kind of people. But there are no services supported for the smart home product environment. And there is no digital user experience, or hardly any, let's say, digital user experience. And some of the players, some of the bigger customers, bigger companies have recognized this problem and have started to do something about it. For example, ADT in the United States, one of the biggest security service provider for the residential market on the United States market. They have partnered with Google and to be able to offer security services for the Google smart home environment. It's a clear strategy. It's a future-proof strategy, basically. But they are a securities company. So the security is the core of the services they provide. And they have put this security in the center of the smart home environment. Because to provide the because they understand that the smart home is something that the customers want. So they have invested in their own smart home platform and their own app, where security is the core. Another player on the United States market, Abode, for example, they decided to offer flexible monitoring options. So they opted for the flexibility. And because in their cases, for example, you don't have to sign the contract for long-term anymore. You can choose 3 or 4 or 7 days plans when you travel, when you're away from your home. In Europe, the biggest player, let's say the biggest security service provider in the residential market, Verisure, they also opted for the smart home environment and put the security in the focus of their smart home through their own app and through their own smart home solution. It's similar as way as ADT. But basically, we are talking still about smart home products and digitalization. And it is quite easy to see and to digitalize a product and the experience of controlling the smart home product or the smart home alarm. But what about the services? How to basically digitalize guarding services, especially when we know that in most of our markets, guarding is strictly regulated service and guarding is quite traditional service. But there is a way. And these examples basically show that there is a way. These are examples of traditional, regulated, and disrupted industries. Let's see, for example, let's look at the taxi industry. It's people-focused industry, definitely. Taxi drivers. It's regulated industry, quite strictly regulated industry, but it's also quite disrupted industry. Today, 30% of ride-hailing is done over our PCs or over our mobile phones. 60% of travel booking today is online booking, and that is a huge industry. And with a push or with the help, let's say, of a lockdown, global lockdown last year, more than 20% of all retail sales in 2020 was e-commerce. These are huge numbers. But what is most important, that these changes were not made by the biggest hotel chain, by the biggest taxi provider, or by the biggest retail store. They were made by by the newcomers. Booking.com, Airbnb, Uber, Lyft in a taxi segment, or Amazon and eBay in e-commerce. These are what we call marketplaces. These are all companies that have marketplace as a business model. So basically, what is a marketplace and why did I mention it? Because marketplaces accelerate the service digitalization. Marketplaces are a platform which allows service providers to focus on their own services and to offer through the digital channel with small or without any initial investment. To the users, the value of which marketplace ad is clear, because users can choose the service they are looking for from the several providers through their on the, let's say, one point what they're looking on one app or one web page. Today, the marketplace environment is growing rapidly, and basically, when with a service that you think at the moment or product that we want to buy at a moment, everything is available now. Everything except the security services. So why not? Why shouldn't this work this way when we come to professional security services? Why shouldn't we be able to purchase a security service for our home in the moment when we are away or in the moment when we worry? There is no reason that we cannot do it. And basically, there is no reason why there should be security service marketplace. The innovation coming on this market this year is specifically that security service marketplace called Zulahud. It is developed with funds from European Union, and it is found now in the testing phase, with the first services to be launched before the summer, when we start to travel again, when we start to leave our home again. So what is Zulahud and what is the security service marketplace? Basically, it is the complex platform, a digital platform, end-to-end marketplace. It has to provide a seamless experience, digital experience for end users, but also for the security companies. To the end users, they see the Zulahud mobile app, but through this app, they have to be able to connect to the devices they use. So this is the smart home environment that we are talking about. They also have to be able to communicate in this environment with their family and with their security companies as well. And when we say about the communication, we mean digital communication, feedback in the app as well. They need to be able to choose the service they want for their home, so the flexibility is relevant and flexibility basically is needed. And also, when we talk about the seamless digital experience, we talk about contracting, payment, and invoicing all through the app, smoothly to the app. When there is an alarm, it should be immediately forwarded to the security center, and the customer should definitely know about it and receive a feedback about this alarm, if everything is okay, if something is wrong in their own app, in the environment that they want, that they choose. But when we talk about security companies, it's even more complex, because to security companies to provide, let's say, easier digitalization or seamless digitalization, it has to provide connectivity to centers. It has to fulfill all the local regulations that security services and local regulations require. And we talk about identification of the customers, or KYC, know your customer process. It should be digitalized as well. Contracting or digital signing in some countries is also strictly regulated. It should be also solved. Complete order management, complete payment processing should be solved as well. Security companies should be able also to have pricing independence. These are their services, basically their prices, and that should be very transparent. But also, Zulahud should be used by the guards on the field, because the feedback should also be digitalized. So the guards should also be able to use quite easily and report to the center and to the customer what is going on at the customer location. And when we talk, of course, about the digital environment, from end-to-end digital environment, we must not forget digital marketing, that services has to be seen, and of course, end-to-end IT security. There was a lot of discussion about IT security as well. So it is a complex platform, but this is the only way to make it simple for the end users and for the security companies. What does this platform bring to the security company when we say it? What does the marketplace bring to security companies? That means digitalization without initial investment. It opens a whole new market, smart home users. These are not today's customers of the security service providers. So this is a completely new market. But to be able to offer it smoothly, Zulahud translates the smart home signals into standard security messages, which security centers are well know and understand via IP protocol we use basically for that. We also provide complete digital onboarding so that services can be contracted according to local regulation, can be purchased, can be paid online, and maybe invoice can be received and sent also online. Security companies receive in the end a report, notification, basically that there is a service which they have to perform, but after everything is done, a report for their accounting and money on their account. So everything is smooth and digitalized. But what is the most important is that there is no delay anymore. Users can purchase your services, so security services, when they want it, when they feel insecure, when they're away from your home, when they worry. At that moment, a service can be purchased. So it's easy to understand how we can purchase alarm monitoring, but it's not just about alarm monitoring. There are more valuable services that are not so, let's say, well presented to the end users. For example, guarding on demand. If your house is on repair for several days, your door cannot be closed because there is because there is work to be done. Or if you're having quite a huge party and you worry about your home during that time, why not order online a guard or several guards to take care of your home? Patrolling on demand. You worry about your vacation home, which is in another country. Why not send a guard to check if everything is okay? Or while you are on vacation, why don't send a guard to check if everything is okay on your home while you are away? And monitoring is becoming quite simple, depending on the strategy of the security service provider, and of course, depending on the choice of the customer. It can be contracted for a day, for a week, and for 5 days, for 7 days, for a month. So whatever you decide to do, or you decide to offer, and forever customer chooses. And it is really seamless, and it is quite easy. For customers, for end users, it is a simple app through which they can pick a service, select a company they trust, contract this service, purchase this service, pay for this service, and get a feedback what is going on with their home. If there is an alarm, basically they're notified immediately, and they see in this alarm what is going on, what the guard reports from the field. What is most important is they can do it anytime, anywhere they want. So it's always available for their home, always available for their app. So the value that such kind of marketplace provides for the customers compared to the existing solutions is quite evident. The flexibility of the service, the choice, the connection to the smart home system, the systems the user prefers. So the channel which they're used to, mobile channel, and of course, there are future services depending on the products, of course, that they use, like voice alarm activation and so on. So, but to make it simple, this is the value that marketplace brings for the customers. But this is also mandatory in the future for over everything, because the average user, mobile user, and we are all mobile users, average mobile user spends more than a quarter of their time awake on their mobile devices. This means that mobile commerce is constantly accelerating. And basically, the users who purchase smart home products, the users who push this market to grow, the home security market, are also mobile users. They want the smart home products because they want to have mobile control of their own home security environment. So the user security awareness is growing, but in a mobile way, in a mobile world, in a digital world. So it's not, the question is, from the beginning, basically, and from the point of my presentation, should the security services change? But basically, it's how they will change and who will change it first. Zuluhood is the first mobile marketplace for security services, but I'm certain that there will be more in the future. We are SA ready. We are currently in a testing phase. We are early adopter with the security service provider, and we welcome all the other early adopters from the manufacturer side, but also from the service side, to contact us anytime.
Thank you, Maja. That was so cool. I needed that last year many times because I have to see my family in other parts of Croatia. And it was an earthquake in Zagreb, some pandemic was there, and I was like, who do I call? How can I make a contract with somebody just to check the house? But now I see that it's moving forward. Congratulations for that.
It's moving forward, yes.
Now, we received questions for you. If you're ready, I will read it out loud and take your time.
No problem.
First one, is the world of security services going to be marked by substantial downsizing of the staff and personnel?
It's a good question, but it's always a problem of personnel in this security environment because of the prices and everything. But I think that the market demands the security services because the ratio between policemen on the field, which can also, let's say, respond to this kind of alarms, and security professionals is very much in favor of security professionals. There are even more policemen lacking on the field. So I know that it's hard to hire more and more guards. It's not such attractive, let's say, working position, but there will be demand on the market, and certainly, as well as this is a problem for a security services company, I think it is also a potential to grow.
Okay, another part of the same question. How are the old school services providers adapting to these threats? Are they still sleepy?
Well, you may be surprised that when we're discussing with the service providers, the old school, I say, they are quite eager to see what we are going to do with Zuluhood, and some of them quite eager to join Zuluhood. We have decided to test, of course, in the local market, Croatian market, because it provides the best testing environment. But more and more traditional security service providers are looking for ways to grow, and residential market is definitely a way to grow.
So the last one is maybe something that we should be more aware of. So, is there still a general lack of stronger awareness of the capabilities offered by this technology?
Yes, yes. I think that, yes, knowledge is still missing on the market, especially for the services, basically. We think or understand more and more about the home security due to the fact that the systems are becoming cool, let's say it like that, and easy to use. But when the alarm triggered and when you're away, there is always a question, what to do now? And there is a simple answer to this question. There is always a guard able to react, able to check, able to come to your home. But most of the customers do not understand that this is a simple answer of this question. So I think that we need do a lot to educate the market that there is a solution, and the solution shouldn't be so complex or old school, like you mentioned before. It can be digitalized, it can be modern, and it can be, of course, efficient.
So actually, this is a wind of change in the industry.
I hope so, yes. What we want to achieve, yes.
Maja, thank you so much for being with us. It was a great lecture. Hope to meet you in person in the future and to use the app as soon as possible.
Yes, you can download it now and try it and test it. We will welcome the feedback, certainly.
I'll give you a call when I lay down in Zagreb, okay?
Perfect. Have a nice day in the rest of the day, and thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being with us. Enjoy the rest of the day. That was Maja with something new, ladies and gentlemen, in industry and surrounding.